Okay, looking ahead to the return of Champions Cup action this weekend, one of the biggest fixtures in the calendar, obviously, Leicester's trip down to the Atlantic coast, down to La Rochelle. And really, really excited today to be joined by someone who spent plenty of time in France, now plying his trade at fly half for Leicester Tigers. It's the number 10, Billy Searle. Billy, welcome to the Rosbif Rugby podcast. How's it all going?
Hi guys, yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, all going well to be fair. Enjoyed being back in England. But yeah, it'd be nice to be back out in France this week and back in the Champions Cup. I've played in there a few couple of years, so it'd be nice to be back in that competition and La Rochelle, exciting place to go. So yeah, it should be an exciting week.
Fantastic. And did you ever play at La Rochelle in your couple of seasons there, or will it be a first time trip to the Flandre?
No, I mean the first for me actually. I've played in quite a few in English teams playing in the Champions Cup and Challenge Cup, and then obviously wanted to lose. So it's one of the only places I haven't played out there, I think. So I'm excited to experience it there. I've heard good things about the atmosphere and the city itself. So I'm really excited to get out there and hopefully rip in this weekend.
How long do you guys get to stay out there? Like, when are you guys off? When like, do you get much time in and around these towns if you go out with an English team?
It just depends on the flight on the Friday, really. And normally you go out the day before. So like for us, we're playing Saturday. So we'll go out Friday, and sometimes if you get out there a bit early, you can have a little walkabout on Friday night or Friday afternoon. So that's always quite nice. And then Saturday morning, if it's an evening kickoff. So I think we're playing at 5:30 on Saturday. So we better go out for a coffee in the morning, which would be nice, and have a little look about, practice my French again, see if I remember any of it. But we're actually staying Saturday night, which is quite nice. I think all the boys always get a bit excited when you stay the night after the game.
Nice.
Very professional, but it's nice to have a little look at the city on a Saturday night, maybe.
Do you know anyone that's playing there? Like, have you? You'd
Actually
be
don't
too young
know.
for Exeter for Jack Noel, wouldn't you? Like, or
Well,
down
yeah,
in
I know of Jack Noel, obviously from playing against him, and we're both from the same area, both from Devon
yeah.
Way. So I wouldn't know him that personally, but obviously know say hello to and played against him quite a few times in England. But yeah, I don't know many other people there, to be fair.
No,
It's a
that
tight turnaround for Friday evening against Leinster. I like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. We obviously got a tight turnaround, but I think we're staying Saturday night because it's an evening kickoff. It's quite rushed to get back after the game, so we'll stay Saturday night and come back Sunday morning, and then we'll probably be in on Monday for like a recovery sort of day and a learning day ahead of Leinster the week after because it's a short week. So yeah, it's not ideal, but if you're used to it, it's probably players. Sometimes you have short weeks depending on fixtures, so it's not too bad.
And Billy, before we get into some of the real French rugby nerdiness, obviously first season at Tigers, to all intents and purposes, it looks like going great guns. It looks like it's been a fantastic move. Like, how have you found it? The transition out of Argent into kind of English rugby royalty, I guess.
Yeah, it's gone. It feels like it's flown by. To be fair, from my time in France over 2 years, but I've loved it. To be fair, settled in really well. It's quite nice coming into an environment where there's been quite a bit of change, I guess. So it's not like I'm one of the only new players, a new head coach and Jeff, and yeah, it's been really good. I've settled in well. I feel like I'm playing some of my best rugby right now. And the boys have all really sound, and I've settled in nicely that side of things as well, which really helps. Settling in the environment and everyone making me feel welcome. So yeah, I can't complain. It's nice to be back in England at a team like Leicester. Such a big historic club in England with such quality in the team and such a young squad still. So it's very exciting, and it's been such a good start to the season. So hopefully, it's no reason why we can't kick on and really achieve something this season, which is the plan.
I've got a bit of a cheeky question
There we go.
on being back in England. I saw on Twitter on Friday night after your excellent performance against the Newcastle Red Bulls, someone said that you were the fourth best English fly half. So has Steve
Is that
Borthwick been
right?
on the blower yet?
No, I've had nothing from Steve Borthwick. I don't know who tweeted that. I might be my dad. But I don't think of that too much. But there's some quality tens in England, and I feel like I'm playing well, so you never know. But I'm just here to try and be number one at Leicester to start with, and try and set myself there and keep playing well. I feel like I'm playing some good rugby, and enjoying my time back in England. So yeah, it's nice to hear people tweeting that, but I don't know who that was.
I take it then it didn't play any role into your decision about to move back? Because, or was it
It's always in the
was it
back of
Leicester
your
a
mind a
big
little
club?
bit. yeah, like when Leicester came in interested, for me, it's sort of a no-brainer. Like my 2 years in France, I loved, but I did miss, being a bit close to the family and friends, and being back in the English Premiership. It's a quality league, and I had a great year last year in Pro D2, but I always wanted to get back in the top 14 or Premiership this year. To be honest, I felt like that was where I belonged and I felt my quality. So I wanted to play. So that was my aim always. And when Leicester came available, it's sort of a no-brainer. It's a big club, it's back in England. Yeah, sort of the first team I've come to in England with such a big fan base like that. And yeah, it's just one of those things that timing wise, it was perfect for me. So yeah, I was over the moon when they came in and managed to get the deal done, which has gone really well so far.
Awesome, and yeah, I mean it's fantastic to see how it's all kind of working out from afar. You mentioned that you had 2 years in France, so for the people maybe not familiar, could you just give us a bit of a potted history of your movements over those 2 seasons? Because if I'm not mistaken, it's 3 clubs, a
Yeah.
couple of seasons, some pretty big names in there as well. So yeah, if you could give us the inside
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, I'll try and keep it short. Is Hands sort of got forced really moving the club about a little bit, but obviously after Worcester went bust, I had a few months not doing a lot, and I knew Toulouse were quite interested to bring me in as World Cup med joker, which is like a 5-month contract basically to start with. So when a club like that comes in, I was pretty excited about that opportunity, and I couldn't really turn it down. So I would have took that over a year, potentially staying in England at the time. So when that came in, it was a no-brainer for me. So I signed for Toulouse for the 5 months. After being there for 1 week, Biarritz came in with like a 3-year offer for me, 3-year contract. And after going 5 months after Worcester went bust with like no income, it was tough to turn that security down. Because at the time I didn't know if Toulouse were going to keep me after that 5 months. So I spoke to them pretty honestly, and they were like, "Look, we understand if you have to take that deal. There's a spot for you here at Toulouse, but we need to see you play first, And rugby, like a lot of things can change." So they sort of understood my decision. I said, "Look, I can't turn that down financially." And Biarritz is obviously a massive club as well. I know it's Pro D2, but they're historically a massive club, and everyone I spoke to said how nice it is a place to live and stuff like that. So sort of took that deal. It was a bit of a tough time because I wanted to try and kick on at Toulouse and stay there, but with obviously the quality they got coming back, and then it turned out a couple of weeks later, Entmac got injured just in the World Cup training camp, and then ended up playing really well at Toulouse. Really enjoyed it there, settled in well with the coaches, and in the end they did try and keep me, but the conversations they had with Biarritz president, he wouldn't let me stay and stuff like that. So all that happened, which is a shame because I would love to have stayed there. It's such a good club and such a good city. It's a bit of a whirlwind, but then I went to Biarritz. It's tough rugby wise, settling in, go from Toulouse to there. Like, yeah, it was tough rugby wise, to be honest. It's a bit dated, some of the facilities and the coaching and a bit like that. So it was tough. And then obviously their president ended up selling the club in March then. So my contract was a bit up in the air there as well. There was talk that the club might go bust. It was sort of a case of if you get something else, the club will let you leave because I'm not sure if we can pay you next year. So it was, again, after Worcester going bust, I was like, I can't be in this situation again. So initially signing 3 years there, and then obviously Argent came in really keen for me with a good offer. So that's my hand sort of got forced to leave Biarritz, and obviously I was grateful for Argent to come in. Again, I was hopeful to go back to the top 14 or Premiership at the time. It was like late in the season, it was June time. So yeah, I went to Argent then, and again enjoyed my time there. Playing week in week out. You guys obviously know Pro D2. In England, it's not quite the same as the Championship. You're still getting massive crowds. It's like some quality teams in there, some quality players. But I think playing week in week out, leading the team out there, and it really brought on my game last year. And it's put me in great stead coming back to England now after having a year when I've played every game nearly, and every game at Biarritz, and obviously some time with Toulouse. It's been cool. I ideally wouldn't have moved around as much, but I've met some great people. I've got some great mates out there now, and Biarritz is one of my favourite places I've ever lived. So I don't regret any of the journey, but yeah, it's a bit of a whirlwind. And then obviously Leicester have come in now, and it's all sort of worked out quite nicely to come back, and things are starting to go well over here. So yeah, I've loved my time out there, and such a good experience for me, rugby wise, and generally in life to grow up a little bit, but also play week in week out, like I said. So yeah, I don't regret any of it, and really enjoyed it, to be honest.
I've got to pick up Rich on his intro. He didn't give you a full intro because you are officially a top 14 winner. Are you not?
Yeah, yeah, I am.
Did you get the medal?
Yeah, I got a medal and a little plaque thing. Obviously you'll get a little plaque like the big trophy they win. You'll get a little one of them, so that was quite cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's nice to have a little top 40 medal, and obviously they won the double in the end that year. So it would have been. They actually invited me to the final of that, but it was a clash of a wedding, but it would have been class to go to. But it's such a good club. Like even the year I went to Argent, they basically said, because an hour away, come up one day and they want to like come up for lunch to lose. And I went up and they presented me with like a shirt, 2 shirts for the final, a medal and the plaque. And I was like, this is amazing. What a club. And then also when I went to Jack Willis's wedding this summer, I was a groomsman there, and he said, "Oh, I've got a little present for you." And I was like, "Oh, what's that going to be?" And it was a watch from Toulouse. So basically, anyone who played 5 games that season because they won a double got given a watch. And I played 5 top 14 games, so I got given a watch. Like a club like that to give me a watch a year on after, like no need to give me a watch. It just shows how good a club it is and how much they appreciate what you did there. So stuff like that. It's such an amazing club, and yeah, it was cool to get that as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
When you're like getting invited up for that sort of thing, who are you talking to at the club? Like, who's the? I don't know. Is it like Is it like Ugo Moller? Is it like the president? Is it Jack Willis? Like, who is it?
No, I spoke to Ugo Moller a little bit, but it's mainly Jerome Kazabou. He's like head of recruitment there and director of sort of how things go there. So he's in contact a lot, and yeah, he sort of messaged me saying love to come up whenever it suits me, and I just said I can come up for like 1 week and a day off, and yeah, it's great. I went in, coach's office, said hello to everyone. It was like I never left. They're so nice to you and welcoming you, and actually cared what you've been doing. So they've been watching me play for Biarritz and Argent and stuff like that, and you never know. One day could end up back there. I loved my time there, so you never know. But yeah, just little things like that show how good a club it is. To still invite you back up, to treat you like that, to give you the medal and stuff like that when you've left. I know a lot of teams wouldn't do that. So yeah, it's such a cool thing, and yeah, still obviously follow them a lot. And Jack Willis, one of my best mates there, so it's a great club. I loved it. I loved my time there.
And how was when you first get there? You obviously say you're on a medical joker 5-month contract, sort of overlapping with the World Cup. That sounds pretty tough going, particularly for a 10, right? Like I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe your French was tip top before and you settled in really nicely, but that's quite a daunting challenge at what is arguably the biggest club in the world. So how kind of was it just an amazing challenge experience? Was it pretty daunting and tough going in? How were those first few months there?
Yeah, I can't lie and say my French was good when I got there. To be honest, I had nothing. I didn't really know what to expect. Obviously, we all know like how big a club it is, and probably the best team in Europe at the time. So it was like I was excited, obviously, and just wanted to go and take it in my stride and enjoy the experience. And obviously, Jack Willis being there, I spoke to him a lot about it, and I went out to visit him before I signed in March and met everyone a little bit. So I was a bit apprehensive, I guess, but again, I was just excited to get there. But then after a week or two, I was like, what am I doing here? I can't even speak French. I was in meetings, I didn't understand a word. It was quite tough. And I remember like one of my first training sessions, Ugo Moller was shouting at me, and I don't know what he was saying. I was like, is he shouting at me in a good way or a bad way? Like, I'm not sure exactly what he's saying, but I was just not going down in this conditioned game. I was like putting it through my legs. We had to go down and present apparently, but I didn't know what he was saying to me. And I was like, I don't know if he's saying good things or bad things here. So I can remember at the start, there's a few things like that where I'm like, I don't know if he's saying. So it's quite nice in a way, you sort of just go out and play. But to be fair, a lot of them can speak very good English, and like a lot of the boys speak very clean English, so it's great for them to help me out, and they all look after you. And there's a good foreign crew there as well who really took me in their wing. Like a lot of other players who are in the same boat, but they obviously could speak French. But then after I learned French more and more, it helped a lot. Like my second year in France, I could understand, I could talk it, and yeah, I'd suggest to anyone who goes out there to learn a little bit before, because I probably missed the boat there a little bit. But I was just sort of enjoying it and took it all in, and they're all really good with me, and a lot of them can speak really good clean English. Like Patrino, the backs coach, he spoke clean English, and he helped me a lot as well. So yeah, it's funny. And some days, I can't lie, I went home, I was like, what am I doing here? But all in all, it's such a cool experience, and now I can sort of speak French a bit brokenly, but such a cool life skill, and yeah, it grew me as a person, let alone just as a rugby player. So yeah, it's cool.
With then the move to Biarritz, so we actually did see you playing a game. It was against Valence, was it, Rob? It was,
yeah.
I remember it was freezing.
It was so cold, and you said when you were talking, and that was the first time like we'd been to Biarritz, and it felt like it did feel like an aging relic of like a club. Like everything just felt a little bit tired. Anyway, sorry, go on, Rich.
No, I was going to say you've obviously gone from one storied club to another, but at very different points in their kind of current or then trajectory. And as you mentioned at the top, there was a little bit of kind of uncertainty at Biarritz at the time. So, I mean, how does that must be particularly difficult with, as you say, everything that went on at Worcester? You go from, I guess, the kind of most certain bubble of them all in Toulouse down to Biarritz. So, because I think that was the season as well. You had like Jonathan Joseph was there.
Yeah,
There were a few quite big name
Quite a
signings
good
that
side, yeah.
came in, and yeah, just interested to know like how it sort of played out that year, because from afar it looked tricky.
yeah. It was. If I went there, I was a bit. I can't lie. When I first went, I was a bit frustrated that they wouldn't let me stay at Toulouse because Toulouse wanted to keep me for the rest of the season, and they're pretty confident they could. 'Cause I remember playing in the USA when we went there with Toulouse and played really well again. And Ugo Mola pulled me over in the airport on the way before we flew back, and he was like, "We want to keep you. We're going to speak to Biarritz and we'll sort it out." And I was like, "Okay, cool." Like Toulouse got involved, Didier got involved, the president. I was like, "They'll sort it. It's Toulouse." But Biarritz held firm, and I understand that I signed the contracts on me, which is fine. So when I got there, I was obviously a bit frustrated about that initially, and then when I turned up, and yeah, it's just it was tough because you go from an environment like that and a Premiership what I was used to, and everything was quite backwards and quite outdated. It's very old school. Like the gym hadn't been updated in 20 years, like little things like that. There's no recovery facilities. We're training on like a bog of a pitch all the time, and the pitch itself is a bit of a bog. So it was tough. I mean, my first game was away somewhere, Aurillac maybe, and it was tipping down with rain. They were playing on like a muddy pitch. It was like -1, and I was like, "What have I done here?" I was like, and like JJ and obviously Zach Cabrigi and people like that were there, which helped a lot. And, I knew Zach from my time at Wasps as well, so there's two familiar faces. But in the end, I just sort of grew to just get on with it and just try and help the boys there and try and make the club better if I could. And Simon Maddox came in after Christmas and really helped the club as a coach, a Kiwi guy, so he obviously understood how we like looked at the game. He's a fly off himself, so I really enjoyed working with him. And then I just tried to really enjoy the experience. And as a city itself, I loved it. Like it's one of the best places I've ever lived. And in the summer, it's amazing down there, and the people are all so friendly. Like I used to get all my food in the local market. Like I've never done that before and stuff like that. So it's cool, like the culture, how different it is down there. But yeah, rugby wise, I ain't gonna lie, it was tough to start with. The level of detail and the level of training was poor, and that's just how it was. But it got better and better, and we tried to really kick it on as like people like Jonathan Joseph and that. We'd really tried to push it, but it's tough when you've been used to a tough environment to go into that. So I can't lie, it was a difficult transition. But again, I think I played every game when I got there, other than a couple. So I had another good year there, and I really enjoyed my time there. It was just a lot different. You're doing a lot more as a 10 there, whereas at Toulouse you're more of a facilitator, for example, whereas at Biarritz I'll be doing a lot more and trying to lead the team in that way. So yeah, it was cool, but it was a tough transition initially.
I think like my takeaway from the game that we saw then was like you guys were looking pretty good. Like, you'd mentioned you and JJ, but like generally across the squad, you guys looked a better side than Valence, and it kind of I think you were kind of around the relegation area at that point, and it was kind of you guys will pull yourself clear now, and then he never really kicked on from that point. It just kind of continued to be a bit of a struggle until kind of about 3 games out, and you guys kind of got yourself safe with a few games to go, didn't you? But it was pretty hairy for quite a while, and that must be what's the kind of mood within the squad then, and when you've got we're a great club but we might go down, and who knows what the president and the owners are going to do with the club, and because it like went up for sale for like €1, didn't it, and stuff like
exactly that.
So what are like the players saying at that point?
Like you say, I think it was because of all that stuff going on behind the scenes, it probably didn't help. Maybe with the French lads as well, they probably knew more about it, and a lot of boys were out of contract, so it was tough, I think. And then, like you say, I got there, they were just above the relegation zone. So, and it sort of turned a little bit at the start, and then I started to lose a lot of games. So that's what's tough when you're losing. And I think the confidence in the group was very poor. A lot of boys out of contracts. It was quite a negative environment. And yeah, it just didn't feel like a tight team, And that's probably why we didn't do that well on the pitch. But then luckily we got this club safe. But like you said, the president was trying to sell it in March, and there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. And we were told that some of our contracts won't be paid and stuff like this the season after. So it's a hard place to be when that's going on. And after the experience I had at Worcester, I was just like, and I know Zach Cabrigi had the same thing with Wasps when they went bust, and we're both just like, this can't happen to us again, can it? Not out here, like. So it was a tough time, and luckily I think they're a bit more stable now, and they seem to be doing a bit better, which is great to see because I've still got some good mates there, like Tyler Morgan as well. I got really close with him, and obviously Zach's still there. So I hope it should be such a good club. The history of that club is amazing. The fan base is class. So if they can sort of update the club and get the right coaching in and the right structure, hopefully that club can move back. And there's no reason why the base they've got and the support they get, they can't be back in the top 14, I don't think. But yeah, it's a tough time, but hopefully they can turn it around.
And talking then of sort of history, fan base, you then had a year at Argent, the one just gone. I think again probably played pretty much the whole season. And I mean, again, from afar, everything we saw, I think it universally agreed that you personally had a fantastic season in what was again quite a tricky season for as a team.
Yeah.
Bit of a theme emerging here, perhaps. But how do you reflect on your time at Argent? Because again, they've had a pretty good start to the season. We felt obviously with the likes of yourself and a couple of others sort of leaving. So, how was it for you going in there again, starting afresh? And did you maybe feel last year that was a side that had the kind of nuts and bolts in place to be doing and sort of impressing regularly in the second division as they are right now?
Yeah, it was a tough transition again, moving to another team. But when I first got there, like the facilities there, like opposite of Biarritz, it was brand new, nearly brand new gym, like really good recovery facilities. Like everything that was there for you. And I thought the squad there was way better than how we did last year. I don't really know why it didn't really click, but we tend to win at home and lose away and stuff like that. And I really struggled with the mindset sometimes where they rotate the team a lot for away games. And like in England, you're playing back to back. If you're fit, you're playing. We fit the best team, no matter what. Whereas in France, it seems like away games is not as big a focus, especially in Pro D2. So I really struggled with that side of things and had conversations with coaches about that. Like, I'm like, there's no reason why we can't go away at, I don't know, Nevers and win. It's like they'll change 10 players. I'm like, why are we changing 10 players? Let's pick our best team. So that side of things I really struggled with. And as a player, I want to be winning. I want to be trying to lead things. And then you change a lot of the players and it's tough, So I think that had a bit of a say on it. And again, we probably lacked a bit of direction last year as a team and maybe from the coaching aspect side of things. But I knew there was potential in that squad. In my eyes, it was a lot of stronger squad than what I had the year before at Biarritz. And you can see this year they've clicked a bit as well and they're looking a bit better. So it's good to see. And I've got a lot of mates there still. And I really enjoyed my second year. I think my French was a lot better. I got closer with a lot of the French boys there, whereas probably at the previous clubs, I was wanting more of the foreigners and stuff like that. So my year two was actually really enjoyable. Like you said, I think I had a good year personally. Would have liked to have won more games with the boys, but in terms of lifestyle and enjoying my time in France, I really enjoyed it there. And I was close back to Toulouse. So I was there a lot, seeing Jack and people like that. So I think the club there is really good. I can see why they're doing well this year because they had the foundations in place. It's still quite a young squad, good French core, and they've added quite well. So it's good to see them doing well this year for some of my mates who are still there.
It was a pretty similar kind of season, though, in a way, to like your one at Biarritz, where it was kind of, I don't know, it feels like the odd really, really good performance and then just conspire to lose for like 4 weeks in a row. How did that compare? Was it really similar, or did you feel safer, or like, how was the kind of differing situations of the fan pressure as well, like with Argent? That's something that is kind of always talked about because of the history.
Yeah, they're very passionate, the fans. They'll let you know what they think, which is fair enough, I guess. But it was tough because I just felt the squad was a lot better there. And I don't know why it was so up and down. Like, it just felt like to me, like the mindset at home was so much different to when we played away again. So it was like, I don't know why, like we should have won so many more games there. We had such a better team, but just didn't really click, and a bit of inexperience maybe in certain places, and probably lacked a bit of depth in the whole squad to really kick on and challenge the top teams. But I have no idea why. Maybe I was a problem, but I don't know. It was frustrating, to be fair. Like I miss being in like that Toulouse environment where you're expected to win every game and training's like almost harder than the games. You've got 215s going at it. Like I really missed that last year. Although I had a good season and I enjoyed leading that team and trying to lead them to be better. But I did miss like that competitive training and competing for places and stuff like that. I feel like the training wasn't as hard, and you're not pushing each other. Like even being back at Leicester now, the training is almost harder than the games. The level of competition in your place, so it's great. I feel like it brings the best out of everyone. So from that side of things, I feel like where Pro D2 is probably, it's a bit easier training wise, and you sort of know you're going to play each week. And I used to drive myself as I wanted to be playing at the top level. That was my motivation. So I think a lot of it maybe comes down to the coaching side of things, and they've got a new coach this year, what I've heard good things about, and maybe that's a bit of a difference as well. You can only do so much in certain structures. So I don't know what it was, but something just didn't quite click. But again, had a really good year and really enjoyed living there and the experience around it.
And Billy, then sort of winding it forward to where you are now, then obviously it's the trend in recent years, and I guess one of the reasons why we sort of started this podcast was the influx of players from UK-based clubs or an island over to France, and you've sort of bucked that trend a little bit. How are you sort of, as you say, you've gone from an environment where there's obviously some fantastic players, incredibly competitive rugby, but at times is not, it doesn't sound like it's a like for like for what you experienced at Toulouse and what you now have at Leicester. Has it been, I don't know, have you almost been surprised with how quickly you've settled back into that sort of, like really sort of top club environment? Has it been a bit of a culture shock, or was that, you mentioned the drive there and that sort of continually wanting to push things forward? Has it just been a really nice fit for you at the right time?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's been a shock. I've been used to it, like say with Toulouse and like Wasps and Worcester, all the teams I've been in England. It's almost been refreshing to be back in that environment. Like just little things like the nutrition they give you and the level of detail and the number of staff they've got looking after you in the gym. Like you've got proper S&C, you're not sort of doing your own thing, and the coaching you're getting is proper coaching. You've got a kicking coach again. I've worked with a kicking coach since Toulouse, so like even just little things like that, it's just nice to have that level of detail. And even in your position, like here, I've got James O'Connor I'm competing against, and they've got Orlando Bailey who's another 10, and Charlie Titchcombe. We've got 4 good 10s, and to have someone like O'Connor to compete with and work with, it's just cool, and the level of training around the whole squad is great. And you see our training on like a Tuesday, it's pretty tough, and like the level of training is just driving us forward. And I feel that's why probably we settled so well and started so well this season, is the level of training that Jeff's brought in, and the level of competitiveness throughout the whole squad is great. And I've missed that environment, missed that challenge. I've missed going to training. You're going to be competing every day, and if you're not, you're gonna struggle to keep your place. So I've really enjoyed it, and I've always pushed myself the last few years anyway in France, because I knew I wanted to come back this way or to go back to the top 14, like I said. So yeah, it's really nice to be back. It's been refreshing, and it's been great to be back in the Premiership and settled in so quickly. So I couldn't have asked for much more, to be fair.
Got to ask, like obviously it's the kind of, it's a very competitive environment, but is there anything at Toulouse what is the secret? What is the secret sauce? Is there anything you can shed light on that's like, that is why Toulouse play like Toulouse? Is there anything in like training or coaching or what's the secret sauce?
It's hard to say. People ask me that, like, what was it like there? What was it like? I was like, I don't know. I just feel like everything's done so well. They're not trying to flog you all the time, but you're training hard. It's sharp sessions, but it's quality sessions, and the level of 15 on 15 there is amazing. And I was like, we've missed like 15 boys probably for the World Cup when they all came back. Again, you got another like a whole 15 coming in. So then like the second team training, like it's just the level of standards of training was amazing, and I think everyone's pushing each other all the time there, so that you're always training at such a high quality. When you go into games, it's a lot easier, and they do a lot of skill work, a lot of offloading work. They promote to keep the ball alive all the time. If it's on, give it like offload and stuff like that, which is probably a big different mindset to what it is in England. They promote offloads and playing how they do. And one thing I noticed, all their forwards got good skills and quality like that, handling wise. So that's probably a big difference out there. But yeah, I just think how the club's run from top to bottom, it's such a good structure and such a good, just how everything is, how they look after you. Everything on the pitch, everything off the pitch is taken care of for you. So like when you're going in, all you got to focus on is your rugby, getting better and pushing yourself and competing. So yeah, it's such a good club, and I love my time there. And yeah, it's a proper club, I think.
And but back to France this weekend, we mentioned it at the top. La Rochelle, obviously European royalty in recent years. sort of how excited are you to get back out there, and not just because of your Saturday night post game, and I suppose B, do you prepare slightly differently at all for when there's the travel involved, to set up slightly differently against a French team as opposed to a Prem side? Yeah, how you guys shaping up?
Yeah, I think it's excitement in the group when the Champions Cup comes. It's an exciting time. It's probably one of the biggest, it's the biggest competition, really. It's, to get away win in Europe's never easy. I've had a few playing at teams in England before, and when you win out there, it's special memories, and they're sort of the ones you look back on as a group. So I think there's excitement today, first day of the week. We sort of did a bit of a preview and stuff like that, and the excitement will just build. The training week doesn't really change too much. All it is you travel out Friday on, you'll be flying out instead of getting a bus up for an away game. So it's obviously exciting, and going to a new country. And for me, it's really exciting to be going back to France, and I'm excited to play in that atmosphere again, because it's slightly different. The fans in France, they're louder when you get off the bus. It's like waves of people normally, and even goal kicking, you get noise the whole time. They're banging the drum, which is quite nice, quite like that. So it'll be cool to be back out there. And I think the boys all are just really excited to go out there.
They're there for the taking. I think Leicester had La Rochelle a couple of years ago in the Champions Cup, and we got pumped. I think Leicester sent a slightly weakened team, and La Rochelle just had all the big guns, and it was like, this is going to get ugly. Whereas now they've got such a bad injury list. They're there for the taking. It could be a famous win for Tigers.
Yeah, we've seen, obviously they're not as high up as they have been, but they're still a quality side. They've got some stacked players in that team. But like you say, there's a real ambition in the squad to go out there and get the job done on Saturday. So we're going out there to win and give it our all. So hopefully we can go out, put a bit of a performance on, and really give it a go and give it a shot. There's nothing really to lose going out there. So hopefully we can go out there and pull off a away win in France. It'd be a special night if we do.
I'll be watching. Can't wait to see it unfold.
For the 10 Leicester fans that were able to get a ticket I tried, but I couldn't get it. It was bloody tough.
Probably, I'm sure it'll be a sellout, and I'm sure the atmosphere is going to be amazing. I was just telling a few of the boys, it's going to be amazing. You can get off the bus, I'm sure it'll be waves of people and noise. It's cool atmosphere. It's always cool playing in France, and I'm excited to get back out there and hopefully give it a shot this weekend.
Yeah, can't wait to watch it. Before we let you go, Billy, it's been brilliant. Thank you again for coming on the pod. Just to finish, as we always do with a few of our guests, I'm going to ask you to kind of rack your brains here, but always after any local recommendations from players in terms of kind of cafes, bars, restaurants, food, markets, whatever it might be from their time playing in France. So I appreciate you had a little bit of space. So if you need the trip to France to kind of reignite those memories, fair enough. But if there's anywhere that comes to mind, anything you can share.
Well, initially I'd say Biarritz is a great place to visit. If you like surfing, you like the sea, it's beautiful there, and the people there are so friendly. Like I said, the market there in the centre of the town is just amazing. They look after you. They're big rugby fans out there, so I knew one of the butchers there. He used to give me deals on all the meat, which was class. And I used to go there every week and chat to him, and he loved it. And all he wanted to talk to me about was the game. So it shows how passionate they are. So if you're ever in Biarritz, have a look around the market. Food wise, wow, everywhere in France, I feel like the food's amazing. Obviously Toulouse has so many restaurants I could tell you, and same for Biarritz and Agen, but I feel like everywhere out there, I didn't really go to many restaurants where I'm like, this is not quality or not good food, it's the culture out there is way different. I feel like boys love to go out, love to eat in restaurants, love to enjoy life, and a lot of them drink red wine and probably 2 in the week, and it's a different lifestyle. But I really enjoyed my time there, and I'd highly recommend any player to get the chance to go out there and experience it. Like I said earlier, I feel like it's brought me on not just as a player but also as a bloke, and probably grown up a little bit living out there on my own and having to learn a language, go out of my comfort zone, and go and meet people and go do things on my own a lot, which was cool. I really enjoyed it, to be honest. Now being able to speak French is cool, and I think it's put me in a really good place coming back to Leicester, and it's probably why I've settled in so nicely here, being a bit more mature now, a bit more experienced, just settled into the new environment so well. So I definitely recommend it to anyone if they get the chance, or even just go out for a little holiday. We had 2 weeks ago, we had a week off, and I went out to Toulouse, got up with some people. It was quality, I loved out there. So I think any chance I get now, I'll probably nip back out and see Jack or see some mates at Biarritz or Agen. It's cool.
in terms of being not mature, where was the best nightlife? Where was the best place to go out of the three
Oh,
towns? Because there'll be
I
there'll
mean,
be fans going to these
Toulouse.
places this weekend. It's still Toulouse, is it?
Yeah,
Bit of
can't
Chez
beat it. To
Tom
be
Tom.
fair, I did go there a couple of times. If
That place is loose.
Yeah, it's loose. It's a loose city. I think it's got a good balance there, and the nightlife there is incredible. The bars, I like the bars more than the older now, more than the clubs. But it's a cool place, and it's always so lively, and it's a great time there. And after the games, there's always something on with the boys, and they're always doing team building stuff. And like you think at a club like that, oh, it might not be like that, but they'll always be after every game. They'll be like, oh, we might meet here for a drink. It won't be crazy, but just get everyone together, and it was cool, and everyone in the city sort of knows who you are. It was a cool experience, and yeah, I love my time there.
Well, hopefully a few more France side memories on Saturday, and maybe a recommendation for La Rochelle after that famous win. But yeah,
Yeah,
we'll be watching out. Billy, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been brilliant, and of course, very best of luck for this Saturday and the season ahead as well.
no worries. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.